Everyone I speak to seems to ignore Roblox. Why do you think that's such a mistake?
If you take a game like this is going to bring in north of $100 million. It's probably not more than a couple of months development time. That's the beauty.
Today's guest is a digital veteran with 25 years across SEO, lead gen, marketplaces, and now UGC gaming over the last 5 years.
You can do a very short development and then see, is it going to fly? And then if you see early traction, then you can start to invest more into it and you can start to pour in resources. So it's the other way to look at it.
We talk about how to scale gaming companies without VC money, the rise of UGC platforms like Roblox, and what's the next shift for people in the games industry. You built the gang to 300 people without VC money. How the hell did you do that?
We didn't plan to build a company. We planned to have a hobby. And then we said, let's take in funding from brands because then we have a stability, profit from it that we reinvest. So we never did any dividends in the company. So we just reinvested instead.
Bootstrapping from 0 to 300 plus staff. This is a playbook with Marcus Holmström. Marcus, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Harry.
Very excited for this conversation. So for everyone at home, we're talking 25 years across SEO, lead gen, marketplaces, and now UGC gaming. So Marcus is the founder of The Gang, and it's the studio that has brand experience for FIFA very recently, Amazon and Netflix, and original titles as well with Out of Sight and Strongman 2. So just to brace everyone at home, we're going to talk about how you can scale a gaming company without VC money. Also, what the hell is Roblox? Like, what is actually happening in terms of where's the money going? And then what's the next shift in the games industry? So bootstrapped to 300 plus staff. So very excited to get in today's conversation. So my first question is, how do you build that company? Like, you started from zero and you've gone to this. Could you just paint a quick picture for everyone at home?
Of course, love to. And so we started the company, it's me and 4 co-founders. And we started it 5.5 years ago now. And the original idea was actually not to create a company, or we were going to build a game, a traditional game on Steam. So all my co-founders are coming from the traditional gaming industry, and I'm more from the marketing, I would say marketing and finance side. And then we had this idea, let's build a game. We had a grand idea, and we started actually to plot it out. And then we got into UGC platforms and Roblox in particular by coincidence. So it was a guy that we knew from one of the big music labels. He came over for coffee, and then he heard that, oh, you guys are starting a studio. Great, I need a game. Can you build it? So we took that gig, and that was in Roblox. So we thought, why not? That's good fun. And this was 2019, before no one or anyone spoke about Roblox, so it wasn't anywhere. And even if you mentioned to anyone in the gaming industry, they would be like, why? Would be the answer.
Were they judging you?
No, actually, we didn't talk that much about it, to be honest, because the most interesting thing was this. We built the game, launched it around Christmas, and it became a big flop.
Oh, wow. So the first Roblox game you made was actually a flop.
Yeah, complete flop. It was, no, everyone hated it. So what we did was that we actually got a bit curious, because we thought we knew everything in this world, coming from been building console games, PC games, mobile games, and they're very, very senior guys in the gaming industry I'm working with, and I'm also really been in marketing for a long time. And then we saw this happening, so it was quite good actually. It was refreshing, to be honest. So what we did was that we instead started to look into, okay, what is Roblox? Just like the question you asked now. And
yeah, let's maybe answer that question. So I have an idea of what Roblox is, and it's actually come up on the podcast a lot. It was like, the next generation is all on Roblox, and it's like they talk about it like a black box, and you're like very uniquely placed. And I want to share for everyone at home, like you mentioned right before we started recording, like you just came back from New York at FIFA, and like FIFA has an activation, a game in Roblox, and you're helping them do that. But there's also devs making games on Roblox. So for most of the people who have no idea what Roblox is, but they actually know about making games, could you just give a quick 101, like what is Roblox from your perspective?
Of course, Roblox is a platform. So originally when Roblox was built, it was built to educate younger people to develop. So you could go in and you can build your own experience or game. And that's the beauty with it. So Roblox is not a game itself. Roblox is just a platform. So without all the games that have been being built by all the devs, there would be nothing. It would be like an app store if you take uh, a traditional app store for mobile and you
Wow,
don't
so
have
it's
any
very
apps.
so it's actually a very different to like I grew up with Minecraft. But Minecraft
Yeah,
is a game. You don't need mods, you don't need friends, and it's still fine. But Roblox doesn't work unless you play something that someone made.
exactly.
Mm.
So Roblox itself didn't make any games. They just made a platform where you can build upon. And what they did was that they simplified everything because it was an educational tool from the beginning. So it simplified coding, they simplified a lot of assets and everything. So you can put in a game quite easy yourself. If you want to build a simple obstacle course, for example, yeah, then you have a lot of plug and play things, so you can get started quickly. But then you have the more uh, serious developers, the bigger games. They do obviously everything from scratch. They don't take plug and play
On Roblox.
on Roblox still. So just like a traditional gaming or a traditional game and game development, but without a few things. You don't need server knowledge because they have all of that already. So when
Hmm.
you create something, they allocate servers for you. And there's also a lot of other things around it. So you have the security and all of these
And
tools.
distribution, right?
Yeah, distribution and traffic, especially traffic, I would say. So if you look into, they have, I think now around 400 million people every month uniquely.
Is there a
Um,
game that or a platform that has more than that? Is that the most in the world? Or
well, that's the platform itself. The game that has the most right now is called Grow a Garden. It's not our game. I wish it was. Uh, I think they reached. I'm not 100% sure of the exact
I'll
numbers,
search it
but
now. Don't worry, because I saw it on the headline. It's like Grow Garden is the most popular game of all time. And I was like, what? What are you like? How is that even possible? Like, if someone's listening to that, how is that even possible? Because for someone like
no,
me,
no, it
I'm
is
looking at the
because they
images
reach.
here and it looks quote unquote childish, right? And I'm like, okay, what is happening?
No, it's actually a really really good game. That's the thing. It doesn't have to look great. It's not about graphical fidelity or the things. Here, the players go in because for two reasons. One, it has to be a really fun game. This is a really fun game loop.
Hmm.
Very simple, easy to understand. You don't need big text in order to get into it. You just get in, and then after super short time, you understand. Uh, and if you look here right now, the active number of users is 2.6 million at this minute, and they reached I think it was around 20 million, which is the biggest of any game in the history of the world.
Matt, wow. So
And you mentioned before money, so if you look into Roblox as a platform, they are uh, they're obviously super valuable because it's a huge platform with so many players. So I think they are valued to 60-70 billion dollars, somewhere there, traded on stock exchange. But if you take a game like this, a game like this is going to bring in north of $100 million for the devs.
Okay. Yeah, I want to spend a few minutes on this. So these devs made a game which, am I wrong to assume, you say it's a good game, but is it maybe like a great idea? Like this doesn't look, again, please correct me if I'm wrong, like it would take a stupid amount of time to make. Like we're talking hundreds of millions, but this development cycle might be a few months. Maybe I'm wrong. Like,
Yeah, and that's the beauty. It's probably not more than a couple of months
ah,
development time. But then now, however, they have a team.
but they
Um,
did it after, right? So
yeah, yeah,
they
yeah, yeah,
they
and
hit
that's
product market fit, and yeah, if you're getting a few mil coming in, yeah, we can go hire a few devs, right? I can understand that, but like, it's so crazy when you come from a conference where everyone's hurting, everyone's talking about kind of how they're trying to survive, and there's some people trying to raise 8 million for a game that's going to be released in 6 years, and then you obviously this is the creme de la creme example, right? But
yeah, 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 yeah.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like the fact that this is possible makes me think, okay, what? How can these both be true? Like, there's clearly people willing to spend money on games, but then all these other games are not seeing the light of day at all.
No, but it is quite simple in a way. First of all, this to spend a significant amount of money for something that is going to come out or maybe come out in quite many years. Because also, if you look into traditional gaming investments, a lot of games that are being invested in never see the daylight.
Oh, really? So
So
do you know
that's
the stats on that? I wouldn't
no,
think
no,
it,
I don't. I
yeah,
don't.
but it's
But
a
that's
big chunk.
yeah, that's a fact. Look into now, for example. Just look into the companies that have fallen in the last take half year. There's been significant amount of companies that have been going under
Yeah, and the games were like
that have
2 or 3
quite
years in, but they
yeah.
actually never released, or they're
Yeah,
struggling to
exactly.
find a
That have
buyer,
had
right?
several developments ongoing, and a lot of cash has been coming into these. So of course I would be, if I put on an investor hat, I would be cautious.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Um, and then if you look into this instead, so you take the other side. So you see here, you can do a very short development and then see, is it gonna fly? Are
Okay.
people gonna like it? And then if you see early traction, then you can start to invest more into it and you can start to pour in resources. So it's the other way to look at it rather than the first one.
So, how many games on Roblox has the gang made?
Oh, that's a really, really good question. We have original games that are our own, I would say approximately somewhere 30, 40 games.
The reason I'm asking this question, because obviously you've one of the, if not only, like you've done the most cycles of this, right? So you probably have an idea of what's not working and what's working, right? So how many
Yeah, yeah,
years
yeah.
did it take to make those 40 games?
No, we've been doing it now for 5.5 years, but we
It's literally
also
one every
build.
few
But
months.
yeah, but the majority of our company has been working with brands and IPs. So we work with some of the world's largest brands. So if you take Netflix, Spin Master, FIFA, Amazon, three of the four Grand Slams. So Wimbledon, US Open, Australian Open. So it's and that has been so in the beginning when we started the company, we said let's do 50-50. Let's do 50% original games, 50% working with brands. But then we became quite popular and was seen in a lot of media. So a lot of brands started contacting us, especially after Vans, the shoe company,
Hmm.
because that game became super popular. And then a lot of big companies started contacting us. So after about a year, we were probably spending 95% of all our resources on brands. So I wish we would have done more original, and that's what we're changing now. So now we're actually going a bit back to basic or back to scratch. So we are dividing the company into parts. So everything was under the same before, but now we are separating the company into two parts. So one of the companies now is going to be solely focusing on brands and IPs, and the second one on the regional games.
This is funny because I'm listening to you and I'm drawing parallels from the other people we've had on the podcast where a lot of traditional game studios that exist today start with an outsourcing story. Like we're working on our own IP, we run out of money, let's do some outsourcing. So they're not necessarily owning what they make. And then they bring money in, make IP, and the dream is let's make money from our own IP and then become a good normal game studio. That's the vibe I get. And it feels like we're doing this, but with a quote unquote a lot less risk because we're doing it on a platform like
No,
Roblox.
no, that was the original idea from the beginning, and that's why we set
Ah.
it up that way. Because I've been starting a few companies, and I had a few agencies. And like I said before, if you invest, say that you invest your own money and you want to build your dream game, and it's a passion project, and you sit there and you want to put in everything you have into it, you're going to have a deadline.
Mm.
Regardless of the amount of cash you have, you're going to have a deadline. You're going to have some point in life, you're going to end up being, okay, can I invest more or not? And then you will go out and fundraise and everything, and you will try to look for other people's money. What we wanted to do, we wanted to build a sustainable kind of, because the thing here, we didn't plan to build a company, first of all. We planned to have a hobby. And we plan to build things we like to build. And then we said, let's take in funding from brands, because then we have a stability. That stability is going to pay the fixed costs. It's going to pay our salaries. It's going to pay computers and all the things you need. Then the thing on top, so the profit from it, that we reinvest.
Mm.
So we never did any dividends in the companies. We just reinvested instead into building our own things, the things we love and want to build.
So you said you started as a hobby. I'm curious, like, is there any funny stories at the start where someone said, "Hey guys, I think this is a real company now"? Like, did you ever have that day where you realize, "Oh, this is something bigger than what we thought it was going to be"?
Yeah, we have a few. So first of all, we had one thing, for example, when because we were 5 founders, and then we grew to, I think it was like 8 or something. They said we're never going to be more than 10 people in the company. And all the founders were like, we really agreed on that. Yeah, let's stick with 10 max. And now I think we're 220 or something.
Why did you change your minds?
Because we saw the opportunity. We're opportunists. And it's like, in the beginning, we tried to stop it from growth, but we saw that it's just stupid not to. Because if,
Why did you want a team of less than 10? Is that because of past experience or
yeah, because we didn't want to have too much headache.
alrighty? I'm going to
And
ask a tactical question. Like, I'm guessing because you've felt that headache before, do you have any kind of mistakes that you've avoided in the previous companies in this company to avoid that headache when it comes to scaling? For context markers, like my
yeah,
team is
yeah,
5.
of
I'm
course,
thinking
of
I'm going to go to
course.
10, but like I'm
No,
already
but no,
feeling headaches.
no, I think 10 or 20 is all right as well. But I would say, when you come to a certain point in a company, when you don't start to know everyone as well as you would like to, then you know that the company has been growing. And we wanted to keep it as a small kind of boutique group who knew each other. They like to hang out with each other also after work. So that was our intention. Um, then I wouldn't say we tried to avoid any mistakes. It was rather that we just wanted to have fun.
Hmm.
And But then we saw that there was such a huge opportunity, so it was really not intelligent to stop. We had to grow, and that's also when you decide that, okay, let's build a company, let's double down on this, and let's do it for real. Yeah, then we started to run. Then we started to set up everything with previous knowledge, obviously. So we have all the things in the company that you need, and we put it up quite early on. So we have a financial department, we have HR, we have legal, everything inside in-house. We work only with full-time employees,
Why?
so we don't. Because I believe in dedication. I believe that if you work half time, you might get out 30%.
What if you work full time on a contract basis? Because in games industry, I see it like maybe like the movie industry where sometimes you have a project and you're going to need someone for X amount of time. Maybe in
Yeah.
Roblox context is a bit different because the skills are always transferable to the next project. But I found like a lot of people are using contractors now, right?
Yeah, no, I fully agree. That's better, but it's not optimal. Nor for the employee or the company. For the simple reason is this: for the employee, it's uncertainty. You know you're going to have this project for a certain period of time, but then during this project you will have to allocate time to look for what's next. And actually, so your mind is not going to be fully in there. And for the company, it's also you educate someone, because that's more or less what you do. You start to work with someone, you educate someone, especially in our field where it's,
Yeah, you're probably one of a few companies that are doing something similar, surely.
yeah, exactly. So we are going to educate in how we work, how it works, like what we said before, what Roblox is and everything. And then when you have educated someone, you want, of course, to retain the person in the company. You don't want them to go to someone else.
Yeah,
So that so I would say, yeah, having a contractor for, but then again, for some parts it might be uh, optimal to have it. But I would say we as a company as a whole, 95% we want to have full-time employees.
yeah, fair. I was just curious because I see my background was pure contract recruitment before my current role, right, with the marketing agency, and it was interesting because you're based in Sweden as well. Like contracting is more common there, I found, than other countries.
Yeah, actually, I'm based in Portugal since 3.5 years.
The
But we
studio,
start,
though.
yeah, we have 4 companies in the group now. So we have,
Ah, okay.
so we started up in Sweden. That's one of the companies, and then I moved to Portugal 3.5 years ago, and so we have one here. We have one in the UK, and then we have one in Malaysia.
Can I speak on this part because
Of course.
I was engaging more with the Swedish, I guess, the gang people there, and then I guess in my head I'm like, oh yeah, they're probably gonna have an office in Sweden, and then everyone else is remote. But you mentioned 4 different studios, so this is tying back to kind of the topic that we're here for, like scaling a company. And I've heard so many different opinions on this when it comes to like the remote and in-person stuff. So I've got people saying fully remote all the way, you just need to know how to do it right, and some other people saying no, everything's in person, and use people that you trust and know because it just takes way too long. So I'm not saying like choose a side or what have you, just saying like what has worked for you when it comes to like scaling a company of your size.
Well, first of all, we are remote. So we're remote first. And we started that one pre-COVID even. So when we started the company, because I knew I was going to move abroad, um, I didn't want to be tied up to a certain position in the world or place in the world. So we said from day one, let's set everything up so we can work from wherever we want. We did have an office actually in the beginning. But anyway, so we set up Discord, we did everything from day one. as a remote company. And then COVID came, and that didn't change a thing for us because we were already there in the mindset. And then we started to grow, obviously, mostly in Sweden. And then after COVID, then I moved and I came to Portugal and set up the company here. So what do we do? And remote first, what it is for us is that we allow every employee to work from where they want. They can sit at home and work or wherever. Uh, but we also, in each major city, have an office. So we have an office in Stockholm. We have one in Lisbon, we have one in London, and one in Kuala Lumpur. So if you live nearby, then you're more than welcome to come and sit and work at the office. And in Stockholm, quite many people do. I think we have 50 or 60 seats there. So it's quite many people to go there. And then if you live at some other city, a bit more remote, we also can give a possibility for a remote office, like a co-working space or similar. Because
Ah,
not
okay, cool.
everyone have the possibility to work from home. It might not be optimal with kids or whatever. So that's the way we solve it. But then if you look at the company as a whole, most people work from home and they like being home, and then they maybe come in 1 to 2 days a week just to meet colleagues.
So you're saying it like it's normal, but then you said earlier in the podcast it's hard to get to know everyone, and I feel like remote makes that harder, right? I have this in my company. I'm working with my brother. Sometimes we work in the coffee shop. Sometimes he's off in his own coffee shop to lock in. And I have someone who's based in Ecuador, and then I have someone based in Ukraine. And like I'm trying to, make sure we understand the person and we keep everything connected. So, I guess any best practices to kind of run a remote company well.
Well, we're constantly learning, so I'm not going to say that we have figured everything out because we haven't. And that's the beauty also running a company. There are always going to be challenges that you have to kind of fix. But we have set up a structure that I think works for us quite well right now in a way. And so what we did is that we use Discord a lot. So we and with Discord we have, because we work in, I would say, small cells. So when we create the game, we allocate a team for it, and this team is going to work together. So it might be a coder, artist, designer, yeah, team lead, yeah, all of this, producer. So we have so we assign a team, and then every day they meet and sit on Discord and talk.
So when you
So,
say
it's
every
like
day they meet, is it like I'm imagining when I was playing a game and you just like you're in that call and the call's just on? Is that what we're talking
exactly,
about?
that's exactly
Ooh,
how it is.
it's so funny you say that. The first ever podcast I did on remote work was with head of studio at End Dreams at the time, Glenn, and he did what you described on Teams. Just an
Yeah,
open call on all the time, and I'm like, yes, well, that makes sense. I used to do that when I used to be a degenerate professional gambler. We'd have this
yeah.
little community. We'd be online all day and just shouting stuff to each other like for like 6 hours. And yeah, so do
So
you? How do you
it's
do
similar.
you encourage? Sorry to interrupt. I'm thinking, do you encourage that? Is that natural?
Yeah, we set that up from the beginning. So we said that this is how we are going to work, because then see it as being in a small office with your closest teammates. And if you need something, if you want to run something by someone, or you need to work close together. And sometimes you of course need to sit and focus a lot. Then we have silent channels. So you're still on Discord, so you can still reach everyone, but then we have the silent channels. And but most of the time you sit in the actual team meeting, and it might be quiet but it's still running.
Yeah,
And then if you need something or want to ask something, then you just talk, and you know
very
that your team is going to be there.
very cool. How did you used to work like that? Is this the first company you have this set up?
Yeah, it's the first. I had uh, distributed companies before with people in different locations, but this is the first time we have been doing it this way. And as I said, we set it up for me and the co-founders in the beginning. So it wasn't so it was kind of this worked for us, and then we just scaled it.
So no weekly meeting. Is there any recurring meetings? Because if you're showing up all day, do you need a meeting?
Uh, yeah, we have company meetings, obviously, because if you sit and work on a specific project or with a specific team, you might not be fully knowledgeable of what's happening at the
Yeah.
company as a whole. So of course we have that recurring company meetings to kind of inform everyone, and we have stand-ups as well. So we kind of more in detail go through exactly what have we done, what are we going to do, so we have the focus right. So it's not just jump in and then you sit and do whatever.
Yeah.
You still need to have dedication. And then we have a lot of other support systems, of course. So we have Slack for written communication. Yeah, we have a lot of other ones for the actual development as well, so you can see exactly where we are in each project.
Did you say Slack for documentation?
Yeah, for written communication, not
Ah.
documentation, written communication.
I think okay. I thought people would be texting on Discord. So Discord is only for the calls.
Yeah, because we found that Slack is better with the written content, and then the Discord is better for the spoken.
Nice. Cool.
And and also when you close a Discord server for the night, for example, it might lose information, but in Slack, since we set up a structure for it, we have everything defined.
Nice. Ah, lovely. So you got the best of both worlds. Sweet. So I'm thinking for the person working in the kind of, I guess, more traditional gaming industry, this is a question for them where like, I'm hearing this podcast. This is interesting, but I'm not going to make a Roblox game. I don't want to. Is there anything that they should be aware of, which is kind of being like more innovative that you think they're in their bubble and they don't know? Like, is there anything that you see?
I think that's quite a good question, first of all. Because if you look into who are on the UDC platforms, Roblox, Fortnite, Minecraft, the three biggest ones, there's a lot of younger people, no doubt about it. The majority is younger,
What's the age
regardless.
range?
I would say on Roblox, it's according to Roblox numbers, they have 30 to 40% 17 plus. But that means anyway, so you have 60 to 70% that is under or 17 down. And I would say it's everyone from 5-year-old up to the majority, I would say probably 12, 10, 12,
Hmm.
14, around there. That's kind of, but it's, I don't have exact numbers or stats, but I would say Roblox number 30 to 40% are adults. And then,
That's interesting. I'm just reading now. Roblox recommends the platform for users aged 30 and older. However, there's no strict age minimum.
yeah,
So interesting.
so you have
Yeah,
very young people, and then you have more mature people. Fortnite slightly more mature, I would say, and then Minecraft, that's actually quite widespread as well.
yeah,
But if you look into who are there, so you have a lot of younger people regardless the age. So let's say that they are 14. So these are the ones that gonna buy the games of tomorrow. And these are the ones that are gonna educate themselves how games are built and what's fun or not.
yeah. Like
So
their
so
taste is being formed on Roblox.
100%. And Roblox is also a very social platform, and I think a lot of people miss that it's they think it's just a gaming platform, but it's equally much social. So you go in, you meet your friends, you hang with them, and chat and do things together. And I think that's going to form how games are being built in the future. So if I were in traditional gaming industry, I would at least, I understand if I don't want to build a game on the platform, but I would at least understand the platforms and see what's happening and see
Yeah.
what's trending and why it's trending and educate myself. It's like with everything. It's like when social media came, if you were saying, no, I have a website, I don't need Facebook.
And then yeah,
And I'm
people
not
who
even going to look at it.
yeah, and the people who did both ate the others for breakfast.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Hmm.
So
So
I would definitely try to understand it and look into it. And to be very frank, we have quite a lot of dialogues now with more traditional gaming companies who are having increased interest of Roblox as a platform, and they want to make variations of games on Roblox.
oh, interesting. So you're saying there are people who have games already published, and they're talking with you to port or make a variation of the game
No,
for
no,
Roblox.
yeah, I would say a variation. I would probably say a variation of the game that's more fitting for this platform. But in order to, for example, increase the IP
So it's like
awareness.
yeah, so it's more the IP. They can obviously make some features me similar, but it's definitely a new game from scratch.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Cool.
So it's not
Okay.
one to one. And
Has that happened yet?
there has been a lot of attempts with one to one, but it never. I haven't seen it work ever.
Have you seen any games work where they've taken a game IP and put it into Roblox?
I would say there is a lot of inspirational games on Roblox from more traditional games,
So that's
and
non-licensed.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Ooh.
And so they've been taking inspiration, which shows that yeah, the gameplay works, but they have done it then for the platform, for the audience, and taking a licensed game instead and then putting it in there might be a really really good idea, because then you also have the uh, IP, so you increase that one. You might also make money from it.
And you can also upsell. I just realized.
Yeah, of course.
That's so funny. So you could upsell to the normal version.
Yeah, no, so
That's
that's
interesting.
the thing. So you can kind of intrigue people, go in, play, have fun, and then also promote your bigger game.
Very cool. Um, sorry for asking so many basic questions on Roblox. I have
That's
one more
cool.
here. So
Mm.
you mentioned you know like Grow Gardens making hundreds of millions. I've not played Roblox. Maybe I should just to understand, but from my understanding, it's a free to play platform and you have the option to buy in-game purchases. Is that the same thing? Like, is there some games that you have to pay to play? Is it you do whatever you want in terms of how you monetize? So, like, if someone, you don't have to share like the conversations you're having, but I'm thinking if I have a normal IP game and I want to go to Roblox, is the only quote unquote efficient way to do a free to play game and then in app purchases? Is there premium situation here? Like, could you paint that picture?
Yeah, absolutely. I would say free to play is by far the most popular on the platform. You have a few games where you pay to play,
Okay.
where you pay an upfront cost and then you get access to the game. It's very unusual on Roblox, and because also most of the Roblox audience, they want to test the game before they buy it.
Yeah.
So so you are gonna take away a big chunk of the audience by
Yeah, but
doing.
um, just to double check, like on mobile gaming, I've had that buying experience myself. There's a weird thing where they release a free to play game, and it's like the level one. I don't know if this is super widespread, and I'm like the most niche player ever, but like you play it, and they say, "Hey, do you want to buy and unlock the full game?" And I'm like, "Okay, can't they just do that on Roblox?"
Uh, Not really.
Oh, okay,
Uh, no, no, not really, because there you either have the game as free to play, but what you can do, you can unlock new content within the game that you can do.
Hmm.
but that's not very common either. Mostly, what's common is that you buy editions to kind of uh, be able to proceed faster in the game. So it's kind of pay to win. It's very
More like
popular,
the
but
mobile gaming monetization model?
yeah, yeah, yeah. But even more pay to win, which is not very popular on more traditional platforms. So here you can have, for example, 2x of everything. So every time you grind something, you get double amount. So you kind
I
of
was like really, really I think they do this more in Asian MMOs, I think, like it's
yeah, yeah,
super normal.
yeah. That
But
that's
like
very exactly that's more common. So that you have a lot here, and also you have younger audiences, but the cost for each is super low usually. And the beauty with it is that you can also play the game entirely free.
yeah,
So you
so
don't.
so yeah, I'm just curious. I'm just like, is the in-app purchase amount like we're talking less than $1 sometimes? Like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
okay.
yeah, yeah. No, so it's very small amounts,
It's just like a
lower
volume
price.
game. It's just there's so many players
It
where it
is.
just makes
Yeah,
sense.
and you have every day on Roblox, you have approximately 100 million unique people every day. So
So you just
it's
need a fraction. It's almost like I'm not saying it. Like the ads monetization model. Like if the game is played by so many people, there's a percentage which is just gonna buy the thing.
yeah, and there is a percentage never gonna buy anything,
And that's
obviously.
fine. Yeah.
And but that percentage they're not gonna buy. They're gonna add to your numbers of high CCU. So if you have a game, you want to have as many players as possible because then you're gonna end up on top lists, of course. So
So
if
it's
you
like
have a
Twitch. So it's like if the game's doing really well, everyone else is gonna see it. And it's like
yeah, of
winner takes all.
course,
So
yeah,
like because
yeah,
that's not
because you have the
necessarily the
top
case
list
with a.
where most trending, most played, all of this. And if you then have a pay gate right at the start, you're not gonna end up on those lists.
They don't have that on mobile gaming because they just have download number. Like imagine they have the active number. That would
Yeah,
actually be very interesting.
exactly. That's very different. Yeah, because the
Huh.
download number, that's historical numbers.
Yeah,
Active
and
is now.
they usually don't say this game came 20 years ago, so it's actually quite bad number. Like you
Yeah,
have to go
exactly.
in
So you
and then
have,
probably
yeah. So if you're
Google something.
new, it's more difficult on mobile, but here you can trend quite quickly.
I see. Very cool. So
And on that note as well, there was one game called Welcome to Bloxburg that got acquired by I think it was Coffee about 2 years ago, and they used to be a pay-to-play game. So it used to be a paywall to play the game, and then they removed it about half a year ago. So they went actually this game. So they went the other way, and they have now 30,000 active players,
wow,
and
this
they
is so
have
funny.
had 9.4 billion visits.
Yeah, because the crazy thing here, like on Steam, if you had like what does Helldivers have as right now? Like isn't that less?
Yeah, but then again, everyone has paid for it upfront.
Okay, so
Um,
Helldivers has 45,000,
yeah,
um, which is one of the top games of the last 12 months. But this game has 30,000,
yeah,
and I'm guessing is this like a top 10 game or is it like a top 100 game? Do you know?
top 100. I would say top 30K. Yeah, you're probably gonna end up top 30, top 40
Oh, there's
around it.
charts. I'm sorry, I'm having a
Yeah.
good time here, everyone at home, but it's just
Because if you look into these top trending at the moment, there's still a brain rot. They have 857K CCU right now.
what?
Yeah. And Grow a Garden, as we said before, 2.6 million
Still, right?
CCU.
No, that's
Yeah.
actually more. Wait. I guess the numbers get too big where I just don't know what it means. It's weird.
I know, it's insane numbers on this platform.
Like what I want to tell you a story. One of my clients, his children, the only game they've ever played is Roblox, and they just think gaming is Roblox, and it's
Yeah.
very simple for him as a parent. And he had a situation where some of the games on Roblox, because it's all UGC, some of them are weird. Like some of them, like for example, there's no, from my understanding, age rating on a game, but like it could be a game where you have a knife and you're chasing someone, but you probably don't want your 7-year old playing that game. So what they've done now is anytime they need to play a new game, ask permission from dad first. Um, so I don't know why.
You
The
do
reason I'm
have
bringing up, hmm?
no, you do actually have a possibility to age gate. So you can do, for example, 17 plus or 13 plus on the game, and then it's restricted to those that are above that age. So
So,
that is
but
possible.
is Roblox checking that though? That's what I'm thinking. Because like, is that just self-imposed?
Um, well, 17 plus, you need to verify yourself a bit more.
Okay,
13 plus, self informing. So there it can be a lot of lies.
fair, really cool. So in terms of like the game, would you say Roblox as a platform? Because like it's like, from my understanding, Minecraft, like all the way you play looks like a certain person, right? Um, I'm just thinking about the future of Roblox. Is it going to be where you can even have more customizability, or is it always going to have a Roblox feel? Like, or is it going to be a situation where it can become like Unreal Engine, where every game can look completely different?
I think it's shifting, and I think it's shifting slowly.
Mm,
So you have, because some of the most popular games on the platforms, they have the more classic Roblox feel to it, and kind of graphical layout and everything.
mhm.
But there are extremely good possibilities right now to build high fidelity games on Roblox. So way better than most people think you can do. You can actually do, but they don't become super popular yet. And I think for a couple of reasons. One is that people want to come here and they want to do these kind of games that they feel comfortable with, that they know. The
Yeah,
second thing is that a lot of the players might have a second-hand phone, and they might be in a region where it's not like the coolest phone at start.
mm.
And then if you have better graphics in the game or these kind of things, it might not be a pleasant experience to play the game. So then you might want to play something with lower fidelity, and that actually works.
I think a big one, Marcus, is, I don't know if you've done this, but I have a very weird experience. When I go to a conference, I spend like half a day just playing all the games and giving feedback. And they keep saying, no one gives us feedback. And I'm like, why? And the most common feedback I give is I pretend I've picked up the game and I have 2 minutes to decide if I want to continue playing. So I'm like, what's
Yeah.
my day 1 minute retention? And I'm like, this was too confusing. I don't know where my health is. I don't know what this is. This button took too long, blah, blah, blah. And I guess on Roblox, you don't really have a choice. Like you need your 1 minute, 2 minute retention to be so high, because the friction of someone leaving your game and playing another game is probably like two buttons or something. So that's something I feel like is missed from traditional games, because they put all this time into it and someone's going to potentially pay for it. I don't know. Maybe not respecting their time is what come into mind, but I don't know if that's made you think of something for like the traditional game devs out there. Like, I feel like a big thing they can learn is like that 1 day retention. Is there anything
No,
you
no,
can speak on that?
yeah, but I fully agree with you there, and that's, I can mention one of our games, or actually the game that we have had the biggest success with so far, and it's called Strongman Simulator. And the first instance of the game was built, I think, in like a couple of hours.
Oh wow.
And yeah, so it was one of my co-founders. He was having a discussion with one of his kids, if you can compete in everything. And then uh, you talked about strength, and then how do you compete in being strong? And then it was like, yeah, you pull a tractor. So we have had right now we have 4,500 players, but we have
Yeah.
had 1.5 billion visits
The
on this
visits is
game.
crazy. So is a visit an actual click or is that an impression?
No, no, that's uh, players that have played the game, and in average, they have played for this game somewhere between 10 to 15 minutes.
Wow. So the impressions of this game is in the tens of billions. Then, if someone's like looking at on whatever the kind of platform looks like. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, wow.
No, so it's so this one, and then we had a team of 3 people build it in a few weeks, and then we launched it and became very, very popular, more popular than we anticipated. And what we're doing right now, actually, so this was almost 4 years ago, and we still have, yeah, somewhere between 4 to 10,000 players CCU
That's still
at the moment.
monetizable, right? That's still like
Yeah, yeah,
can
yeah. We make money from it, obviously,
amazing.
and then and now we're also building Strongman Simulator 2.
Hmm.
That one is going to come out right after summer. So that's one thing we're quite excited for in the company at the
What's the
moment.
plan for number two versus number one? Is it kind of an easier 10-minute
No,
retention?
we're a bit better graphics,
Okay.
not too much, not going crazy, but
Mhm.
a bit more. We are doing a few changes that we, without going into details with the game, obviously, but doing a few changes that we have seen might not be the optimal. And yeah, so that's kind of what we're doing at the moment. And I think we have for Strongman 2, it's going to be called Strongman Ultra, I think. But so I think we have had now 600,000 or 700,000 favorites already before it's launched.
Oh, so wow, you can even so literally you have wish lists as well at this point.
Yeah,
So again, this is just for the curious game dev out there. Is that like people subscribe to your kind of
yeah,
Steam
yeah.
page
That's through
basically?
our group.
So do these guys when they see you release a new game or an announcement, like is
Yeah,
this seen by
exactly.
like
And yeah, they
thousands
can.
and tens of
Yeah,
thousands?
exactly. So then they can get a notification. So they are part of our group and they follow us. So they follow
I mean,
our
that's
game.
crazy. Like, imagine a game studio having 4 million emails subscribers, right? And say, hey, by the way, releasing a new game. You're saying, because I thought Roblox was good because, like, oh, you can log in and choose your game, but like, you can also like keep a player at some point or like,
Yeah, yeah.
re-engage your community. Really cool.
No, it's an ecosystem. So it's more of an ecosystem, and like I said, it's more of a platform than just a game. And then you create, yeah, you can create events, so you can do these kind of things. You can also build UDC items, like you see here. And these are
Hmm.
then items that are being created and can be sold on the platform, and then they've been worn on your avatar. And then the then we get money back from if someone is acquiring something we have designed.
Does most of the money come from this premium thing, or is it? Do you guys care?
Uh, no, no, most revenues actually come from in-game purchases. So purchases directly connected with the game itself. So if you're in Strongman Simulator and then you acquire something, it might be 2x or whatever. Then that is, I would say, the majority of revenues, and then the premium is probably around 10 to 20% of the overall revenues.
The reason I'm gonna spend a bit of time on this is like when I used to play RuneScape, so I was used to beg my dad, "Hey, dad, I want to pay for RuneScape," and it was my 18th birthday present. It was like free games exist. Play the free games. I was like, okay. And my brain, because I grew up like that, finds it really hard. Like, why is a 5-year-old, 14-year-old, 15-year-old spending money? Is this like them saving up money and buying a gift card? And okay, they're actually using the disposable income, and there's so many of them, or is it the parents just actually putting the wallet down? Like, if I'm just pretending to be a traditional game dev here, I would have that thought. It's like, yeah, but they're not going to have that much money. Like, who's going to be actually spending? Like, how does it work?
No, so I would say the majority of the time, unless they are old enough, then it's the parents who pay for it. And what they do then, they either pay a premium subscription, which
Mhm.
unlocks. So Roblox have their own uh, economy. It's called Robux.
Yeah, I'm on the
Yeah.
page here for everyone.
Yeah. So Robux is equivalent to the coins that you acquire, and then these coins you can use within Roblox to buy, for example, something within the game. You can buy clothes for your avatar, these kind of things.
Yeah.
So you look cooler. And then when you buy something, either from within the game or a clothing part, then a part of this gets distributed to Roblox, and a part of it gets distributed to the game dev.
I mean, it's weird. You know what? I think I'm biased. I think I'm judging Roblox because of my idea of it for a kid game. But then I just turned what I said into Fortnite, and I'm like, yeah, if my kid asked me to buy a skin on Fortnite, I'd be like, yeah, sure. But for some reason, because it's Roblox, my brain's like, why are people spending money here? And then you mentioned like buying clothes and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, because they need to flex. Everyone
Yeah,
wants to be the cool kid,
it's
right?
the same thing.
Everyone
It's
wants to be the
exactly
cool
the
kid
same
with the
thing.
new shoes. And yeah, yeah, interesting.
No, so it's not a new phenomenon. And also, I heard from so many parents, because when I speak at a dinner party or whatever, and they have kids, and they hear that we're building games on Roblox, yeah, that's always a topic that becomes interesting to talk about. And if they have kids in the right age or age category, the number one question the parents usually get is, "Can you buy me Robux?" For the
It's
parents.
like, I guess it makes. I mean, again, I'm having all these imaginations, but like when I have kids, if my kid said what I want for my birthday is Robux, and I'll be very, very happy, and I'm
Yeah.
like, I buy him physical thing he won't be happy with, or thing I know he will be happy with. Yeah, I'll probably do the thing he literally asked for.
No, no, but also you're a gamer, so you fully understand. Well,
I just don't want to. Maybe because I'm gonna become like my dad. I'm like, you don't have to spend money, so let's not spend money. Like, let's just go spend your own money when you're 18. Like, just play the free games. That's maybe because I'm just gonna pass on the next
yeah.
generation. Hmm.
No, but also I think in Roblox, because you have so many people, I also think I like the connection, and I've
Hey.
seen a few attempts with connection to offline online, because you touch upon this here, and I think that's quite important as well, because you want, especially younger people, also to move and to be outside.
Hmm.
And so we did one thing with one of the big sports brands. I'm not allowed to say which one. But then we actually used the gyro in the phone connected to Roblox. So the more you moved, you got extra points to
Oh, no
use
way. So
within the
like a
game.
geolocation game, like a
Yeah,
Pokemon. So you can even do. Wow. Yeah. So you can even do that. So then, yeah, that could be something where me as like, it's a health benefit. You're gonna go see your
exactly.
friends outside.
Yeah, exactly.
Very cool. Lovely. So, just in the final part of the podcast, I'm just want to ask from a CEO perspective. My main thing I'm focusing on now is like the thoughts of building a team. So I have an org chart, and I had a good piece of advice a few months ago where it was like build the org chart of the business you want to have. And like you, I was like, we need a finance person. At the moment, that's me, but I've got some admin for that. Cool. At the moment, marketing and growth, all me. And I've started with operations. I've removed myself from operations. I'm like, okay, great. Checkbox. but then I just see all these extra people I need to get, and then it's so weird. It's a bit of a long way to ask this question, but when I was in recruitment before, finding a Unity developer for someone else for some reason so much easier because I'm like, this is my main job. But when it's my company, I don't have time, and I'm like, I need to do the interview. I need to build trust. I need to ask the right questions, and like you've hired a lot of people, and I was just curious, like any advice to people hiring other people, whether it's in games or in my case, like yeah, any advice on hiring people, especially with the scale you've done it?
This is a massive question, first of all. So thank you for asking. So let's spend an hour. And no, but honestly, I think there's a few things that I think is super important around recruitment. And first of all, the people we work with is the most important thing you have in the company, uh, by far, because that is the thing that's going to change the company or make it successful.
Hmm.
So you need to have the right people, and I think especially companies that get VC, they tend to overhire, and
Mm.
they tend to create an org chart, and they just want to fill all the boxes. So they want to make all the boxes green that are
Right,
red,
right.
and they want to do it as quickly as possible because then they feel good. Now we can run, but it might not be maybe the optimal person for it,
And then
and
it's kind
it
of a lot
might.
harder to realize that or change that when you got 20 of those happening at the same time.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah, and also the problem is that if you hire too many people at the same time as well, they might come in with different objectives and different mindsets and everything. So I would, when it comes to recruitment, I would, and I've been doing this mistake myself. So I'm not saying I'm complete here. So usually everything I'm saying, I failed at several times. So and that's how I try to learn. But make sure in the beginning, for example, we did everything ourselves, me and my co-founders, absolutely everything. So I was doing sales and the product management, and my co-founders were doing everything in dev, and we're testing every single aspect of it. And then we knew which pain points that were most crucial, and then we just hired that one, nothing else. Even if we were in desperate needs of more people, we try not to overhire. So we kind of held back as much as we could. And I think that's quite a good learning because then when that person comes in, you're going to put extra attention to it and you're going to feel a relief right away because this biggest pain point that you have is going to be lifted from you. And if the person doesn't work out or not, you see it quite fast because if your pain point doesn't go away, if it's still there, yeah, then maybe it wasn't a great recruitment. But if you do
Mm.
10 of them at the same time, it's going to be very difficult to spot what's working or not.
Interesting. So is that more organic way of growing the company? Like, because you mentioned not to have an org chart, but I found that very useful because then I realized, oh, what I thought I needed was not the bottleneck. It was good for me to find out, like, I don't need to go find a podcast editor right now. I realized the company will never make more revenue if I don't get a writer. And I was postponing that forever. It was like, oh, I'll write forever. And then I realized, no, I can't. So when
But but
you
but
go
an
on,
org chart is still needed. You always need an org chart. You always need to know where everyone fits within the organization, who is reporting to whom, and what's their responsibilities. That's always important to have in any company,
what
regardless of.
about prospective org chart? Well, my one is like what I imagine the business to be. Would you say that's more like
Yeah, yeah.
maybe I could do it
That
more step by step?
well, this is a super interesting question because here it's good to have it. It's good to have an idea where you want to go, to plan ahead, and say, I think this will be our biggest pain points or obstacles half a year from now. But this is not something that is set in stone, so you have to be able to change.
Yeah.
And that I find is something most people have a problem with. The
Yeah, change
ability to
hurts.
change. Because if they have written something down, for a lot of people that's the fact. That
Mm,
is this is where we're going to. And then you might not actually look into your situation where you are or what's happening, but you're gonna move into that direction. So I would be cautious with it. I would I would say it's really, really good to have it, to have an idea where you're going to, but I would be very, very cautious and I would always question if this is correct.
yeah, very interesting. I have more questions, but I will leave with this final question. So, based on this conversation today, Marcus, because we've covered a lot of ground, like I understood a lot about Roblox, scaling the company. Is there anything you feel like we haven't mentioned that we maybe want to leave people with?
No, I think it was super interesting conversation. I really liked it. I think we covered most of it, and also if someone wants to hear more, find me. I'm on yeah, LinkedIn at least. So
Perfect. So, how can people get in touch with the gang? Is that still through you on LinkedIn? Is there another way?
no, it's probably better to contact us through the website. So it's www.thegang.io, and then we have all the contact information there. So regardless if your company wants to work with us or if you want to send in your application, feel free to get in contact.
Amazing. I'm going to ask one final funny question. So, if anyone listened through this entire podcast and they want to get a job at the gang, give them one secret tip that will give them a higher chance.
Try to understand what Roblox is. So I people that we like to work with are the ones that are curious and knowledgeable of the platform. So we we don't only hire on previous skills that it says, yeah, you're coming from this massive, interesting, super duper gaming company, but also if you have, for example, done something on Roblox, you built something yourself, showcase that. Of course, that's going to be really, really, really valuable because then we're going to know you are curious enough and you're not only saying it, but you also do it.
Portfolio always comes back, I feel, to portfolio. And that means different things to different companies. But
Yeah, yeah,
can't imagine a
always.
better portfolio than, hey, here's the games we made on Roblox and here's how I thought through them.
Yeah.
Perfect. Marcus, thank you so much for your time. Really enjoyed it.
Thank you so much, Harry.